Welcome to another exciting video. Remember we said a series on all the rhythm patterns that fall under the crochet beats, which is the main beats of the simple time signature. And today we're gonna go into another exciting rhythm pattern, which is a 2 semiquavers and the quaver notes, which is usually found in your sheet music. And trust me, once you understand this pattern perfectly, you'll be able to pick up any sheet music and play it effortlessly. You must also understand that all these patterns come from a family. So once you understand the family a pattern comes from, it's very, very easy to tap it and understand it. So let's go straight into it. The 2 semiquavers and 1 quiver note is made up of 2 semiquavers and 1 quiver note joined together at their flag. This rhythmic grouping is where the first half of the beats is divided into 2 semiquavers. That means it's a quarter beat each, while the second half is filled by 1 quaver, which is half beats. This creates like a short, long fill within 1 beat. Short, long, short, long. And it's the opposite of long, short, which was discussed in the previous video. This is how the 2 semiquavers and 1 quiver note looks like. It is written with 2 semiquavers first, which share 2 beams, followed by 1 quaver, which has 1 beam. The beams are often connected, so the first 2 notes share 2 beams, while the last note has only the top beam, but they are all joined together at their flags. The UK or British name is called semiquaver, quaver, while the US American name is called 16th notes, 8th notes. This rhythm pattern was popular in the classical and romantic era themes for its punchy, upbeat quality. We're going to be using fruit to understand how the 2 semiquavers and quaver pattern sounds like. And the fruit we're going to be using is coconut, so you understand how it sounds better. And this is how it's going to be. Coconuts, 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 coconuts. You're short, long. Let's try that. Short, long, 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 short, long. That is how this beat sounds like. We must understand that this pattern comes from the 4 semiquavers family, which you used watermelon for in our previous video. Watermelon. Now let's analyze this. In coconut beats, we have 2 semiquavers and 1 quiver. The 2 semiquavers also is the same with the 2 semiquavers of watermelon, while the quaver has taken the last 2 semiquavers. So if you clap this, it's going to be something like this. Watermelon, 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 coconuts, 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 coconuts. They are all the same thing. So when you understand the family a pattern comes from, it will be so easy for you to tap it. Now, assuming the crochet beat is a circle, for this pattern, the 2 semiquaver beats will dominate the first half of the circle, which will be divided into 2. Quarter beats and quarter beats. And the second half will be dominated by the quaver beats, which is half beats. Now, when you add all this together, quarter plus half will give you 1, right? So everything must fall under 1 crochet beats. As I explained earlier, in this pattern, the 2 semiquavers will be 0.25 beats each, while the quaver will be 0.5 beats each. Total will be 0.25 plus 0.25 plus 0.5, which will give you 1 beat. At 60 beats per minute, if a crochet beat is 1 second, that means that each semiquaver will be 0.25 seconds and the quaver will be 0.5 seconds. Everything will sum up towards 1 second. And this is how it's going to sound. 120 beat per minute. If a crotchet beat is 0.5 seconds, right? That means each semiquaver will be 0.125 seconds and the quaver will be 0.25 seconds, and everything will sum up to what? 0.5 seconds. And this is how it's gonna sound like. The two semiquaver and one quaver note creates a light, quick start to a beat, followed by a longer note for emphasis. It's often counted as short, long, and is used in marches, fanfares, folk dances, and melodic embellishments. In simple time signature like 4/4, 3/4, and 2/4, this pattern is usually used for rhythmic variety. This pattern often alternates with the reverse pattern quaver plus two semiquavers to create a rhythmic contrast. Remember we said that your two semiquavers and one semiquaver pattern is short, long, while your quaver and two semiquaver pattern is long, short. So that's a contrast, and most composers use this basically for rhythmic contrast. The pattern is mostly found in simple time signature, but if found in compound time signature, it is used across beats to create syncopation or kind of like a tension in the sheet music. The two semiquavers and quaver pattern usually appear with a rest in your sheet music. This should not confuse you. It is still the same pattern, but with a rest. We're going to look at the various ways it can appear with a rest in your music sheets. This is the way it can appear. Two semiquavers and a quaver rest. It is still the same coconut, just that the knot is gonna be quiet, right? So it's gonna be something like this. Coco, 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 coco. And don't forget that it's the same thing as water, 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 water. They are still the same family members. Now let's add this beat to a metronome and see how it's gonna sound like. Another way it can appear is like this. Now here we have one semiquaver rest, one semiquaver note, and one quaver note. So the co is off. What we have here is just conotes. So it's gonna be coconuts, 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 coconuts. The co is quiet. That's how it's gonna sound like. Now let's add this beat to a metronome and see how it's gonna sound like. Now let's go to a music sheet where this can be found. come to the end of these wonderful topics. Make sure you try out all the exercises on your own. And the more you practice this pattern, the more you get used to it and be able to pick up a sheet music and play it effortlessly. So drop your comments, your questions in the comment section, and I'll be there to answer it. Please like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel for more educational videos. Have a wonderful time.